like 2+ years and running.
Really?
Yeah.
God. Getting old.
Okay. All right, yes, well, we're recording and I believe we are live on YouTube. So welcome, I'm Paul Sugarman, the Instant Shakespeare Company. And today we have a Molière Rendezvous reading of the Countess of Escarbagnas, or whatever it is, but I will turn it over to Simone of Molière Rendezvous and you can introduce the rest. Thank
Okay,
you.
Great. Thank you, Paul. Yes, so Molière Rendezvous is going to present the Countess of Escarbagnas. And this play was performed before the court in Paris in 1671. We'll experience Molière's amusement of provincial thought and attitudes. The text is translated by Charles Harwin-Wall. And now we will introduce our cast. So let's see, Clinton.
Hello, I'm Clinton Powell reading the Vicomte.
Paula.
I'm Paula Hosa and I am the Countess.
Marie.
Hi, my name is Marie and I'm reading Andre and Jeannot.
And Angus.
Hi, Angus Hepburn reading Monsieur Thibaudier. Had a fleeting, stunning performance as the young Count, the Countess's 11, 12-year-old son. Man of many parts, very talented, play everything.
Okay. And
From
Bill.
London.
And Bill in New York, playing 3 parts. I'm going to be playing Criquet, and I'm going to play Mr. Bobinet, and then also the very jealous Mr. Harbin.
That is true. And I'm Simone Kunrad, the playmaster of Molière Rendezvous, tuning in here from Marseille in France, and I am reading Julia. So our play is set in Angoulême.
What? You are here already?
Yes, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself, Cleante. It is not right for a lover to be the last to come to the rendezvous.
I should have been here long ago if there were no importunate people in the world. I was stopped on my way by an old bore of rank who asked me news of the court, merely to be able himself to detail to me the most absurd things that can well be imagined about it. You know that those great newsmongers are the curse of provincial towns, and that they have no greater anxiety than to spread everywhere abroad all the tittle-tattle they pick up. This one showed me, to begin with, 2 large sheets of paper full to the very brim with the greatest imaginable amount of rubbish, which, he says, comes from the safest quarters. Then, as if it were a wonderful thing, he read full length and with great mystery all the stupid jokes in the Dutch Gazette, which he takes for gospel. He thinks that France is being brought to ruin by the pen of that writer, whose fine wit, according to him, is sufficient to defeat armies. After that, he raved about the ministry, spoke of all its faults, and I thought he would never have done. If one is to believe him, he knows the secrets of the cabinet better than those who compose it. The policy of the state is an open book to him, and no step is taken without his seeing through it. He shows you the secret machinations of all that takes place, whither the wisdom of our neighbors tends, and controls at his will and pleasure all the affairs of Europe. His knowledge of what goes on extends as far as Africa and Asia, and he is informed of all that is discussed in the Privy Council of Prester John.
You make the best excuse you can, and so arrange it that it may pass off well and be easily received.
I assure you, dear Julia, that this is the real reason of my being late. But if I wanted to say anything gallant, I could tell you that the rendezvous to which you bring me here might well excuse the sluggishness of which you complain. To compel me to pay my addresses to the lady of this house is certainly reason enough for me to fear being here the first. I ought not to bear the misery of it, except when she whom it amuses is present. I avoid finding myself alone with that ridiculous countess with whom you shackle me. In short, as I come only for your sake, I have every reason to stay away until you are here.
Oh, you will never lack the power of giving a bright color to your faults. However, if you had come a half hour sooner, we should have enjoyed those few moments. For when I came, I found that the Countess was out. And I have no doubt that she has gone all over town to claim for herself the honor of the comedy you gave me under her name.
But pray, when will you put an end to this and make me buy less dearly the happiness of seeing you?
When our parents agree, which I scarcely dare hope for. You know as well as I do that the dissensions which exist between our two families deprive us of ever the possibility of seeing each other anywhere else, and that neither my brothers nor my father are likely to approve of our engagement.
Yes, but why not profit better by the opportunity which their enmity gives us? And why oblige me to waste, under a ridiculous deception, the moments I pass near you?
It is better to hide our love. And besides, to tell you the truth, this deception you speak of is to me very amusing comedy. And I hardly think that the one you give me today will amuse me as much. Our Countess of Escarbagnas, with her perpetual infatuation for quality, is as good a personage as can be put on the stage. The short journey she has made to Paris has brought her back to Angoulême more crazy than ever. The air of the court has given her new charms for her extravagance, and her folly grows and increases every day.
Yes, but you do not take into consideration that what amuses you drives me to despair, and that one cannot dissimulate long when one is under the sway of love as true as that which I feel for you. It is cruel to think, dear Julia, that this amusement of yours should deprive me of the few moments during which I could speak to you of my love. And last night I wrote on the subject some verses that I cannot help repeating to you. So true is it that the mania of reciting one's verses is inseparable from the title of a poet. Iris, too long thou keepest on torturer's rack one who obeys thy laws, yet whispering chides in that thou bidst me boast a joy I lack, and hush the sorrows that my bosom hides. Must thy dear eyes, to which I yield my arms, from my sad sighs draw wanton pleasures still? Is it not enough to suffer before the charms that I must grieve at thy capricious will? This double martyrdom a pain affords too keen to bear at once thy deeds, thy words, work on my wasting heart a cruel doom. Love bids it burn, constraint its life doth chill, if pity soften not thy wayward will. Love, feigned and real, will lead me to the tomb.
I see that you make yourself out much more ill-used than you need. But it is in the way with poets to tell falsehoods in cold blood and to pretend that those you love are much more cruel than they are in order to make them correspond to the fancies you may take into your heads. Yet I should like, if you will, to give me those verses in writing.
No, it is enough that I have repeated them to you, and I ought to stop there. A man may be foolish enough to make verses, but that is different from giving them to others.
It is in vain for you to affect a false modesty. Your wit is well known, and I do not see why you should hide what you write.
We must tread here with the greatest circumspection. It is a dangerous thing to set up for a wit, that there is inherent to it a certain touch of absurdity which is catching, and we should be warned by the example of some of our friends.
Oh, nonsense, Cleante. I see that in spite of all you say, you are longing to give me your verses. And I feel quite sure that you would be very unhappy if I pretended not to care for them.
I unhappy? Oh, Dear, no, I am not so much of a poet for you to think that but here is the Countess of Escarbagnas. I'll go to the store so as not to meet her, and we'll see that everything is got ready for the play I have promised you.
Tom, are you alone? Oh, what a shame. All alone? I thought my people had told me that the Vicomte was here.
It's true that he came, but it was sufficient for him to know that you were not at home. He would not stop after that.
What? Did he see you?
Yes.
And did he not stop to talk with you?
No, madame. He wished to show you how much he felt and was struck by your charms.
Still, I shall call him to account for that. However much anyone may be in love with me, I wish them to pay to our sex the homage that is due to it. I am not one of those unjust women who approve of the rudeness their lovers display towards other fair ones.
You must say, in no way be surprised at his conduct. The love he has for you shows itself in all his actions and prevents him from caring for anyone but you.
I know that I can give rise to a strong passion. I have for that enough of beauty, youth, and rank, thank heaven. But it is no reason why those who love me should not keep within the bounds of propriety towards others. What are you doing there, little page? Is there not an anteroom for you to be in until you are called? It's a strange thing that in the provinces we cannot meet with a servant who knows his place. To whom do you think I am speaking? Why do you not move? Will you go outside, little knave that you are? Come hither, girl.
What do you wish me to do, madame?
To take off my headdress. Gently, you awkward girl. Oh, how roughly you touch my head with your hands.
I do it as gently as I can, madame.
Oh, no doubt. But what you call gently is very rough treatment for my head. Oh, you've almost put my neck out of joint. Oh. Now, take also this muff. Go and put it with the rest into the closet. Don't leave anything about. Well, where is she going now? What is this stupid girl doing?
I'm going to take this into the closet, as you told me, madame.
Oh, pray excuse her rudeness, madame. I told you my closet, great ass. That is the place where I keep my dresses.
Please, madame, is a cupboard called a closet at court?
Yes, Dunce. It is thus that a place where clothes are kept is called.
And I will remember it, madame, as well as the word furniture warehouse for your attic.
Oh, what trouble it gives me to have to teach such simpletons.
I think them very fortunate to be under your discipline, madame.
She's my nurse's daughter, who I have made a lady's maid. The post is quite new to her as yet. Oh.
It shows a generous soul, madame, and it is glorious thus to form people.
Oh. Come, some seats, I say. Here, little page boy. Truly, this is too bad not to have a page to give us chairs. My maid, my page, my maid. Oh, somebody. Oh, I really think they must all be dead, and that we shall have to find seats for ourselves.
What is it you want, madame?
You do make people scream after you, you servants.
And I was putting your muff and headdress away in the closet, I mean.
Call in that rascal of a page.
I say, criquet?
Cease that criquet of yours, stupid. Call out, page.
Page, then, and not criquet. Come and speak to Mrs. I think he must be dead. Page! Page!
What is it you want?
Where were you, you rascal?
In the street, ma'am.
Why in the street?
You told me to go outside.
Oh, you are a rude little fellow, and you ought to know that outside among people of quality means the anteroom. Andre, mind you ask my equerry to flog this little rogue. He's an incorrigible little wretch.
Whom do you mean by your equerry, madame? Is it Mr. Charles you call by the name?
Be silent, impertinent girl. You can hardly open your mouth without making some rude remark. Quick, some seats. And you, light 2 wax candles in my silver candlesticks. It's getting late. What is it now? Why do you look so scared?
Madame,
Well, madame, what is the matter?
it is
What?
I have no wax candles, but only dips.
Oh, the simpleton. And where are the wax candles I bought a few days ago?
I've seen none since I have been here.
Get out of my presence, rude girl. I will send you back to your home again. Bring me a glass of water. Madame?
Madame,
Madame.
Madame,
Madame, I beg of you.
Madame, I beg of you.
Oh, Madame,
Oh, Madame,
pray, Madame.
pray, Madame.
Oh, really, Madame?
Not really, Madame.
I am in my own house, Madame. We are agreed as to that. Do you take me for a provincial, Madame?
Oh, heavens forbid, Madame.
Oh, get along with you, you hussy. I drink with a salver. I tell you that you must go and fetch me a salver.
Criquet? What's a salver?
A salver?
Yes,
I don't know.
Will you move or will you not?
we don't either of us know what a salver is.
Know then that it is a plate on which you put glass. Long live Paris. It's only there that one is well waited upon. There, a glance is enough. Is that what I asked you for, dunderhead? It is under that you must put the plate.
That is easy to do.
You stupid girl, you shall really pay for that glass. You shall, I promise you.
Very well, madame. I will pay for it.
Oh, did you ever see such an awkward, loutish girl? Such a...
I say, madame, if I am to pay for the glass, I won't be scolded into bargain.
Get out of my sight. Really, madame, small towns are strange places. In them there is no respect of persons. And I have just been making a few calls at houses where they drove me almost to despair. So little regard did they pay to my rank.
Where could you expect them to have learnt manners? They've never been to Paris.
But still, they might learn if they would only listen to one. But what I think too bad is that they will persist in saying that they know as much as I do. I, who have spent 2 months in Paris and have seen the whole court.
What absurd people.
They're unbearable in the impertinent equality with which they treat people. For in short, there ought to be a certain subordination in things. And what puts me out of all patience is that a town upstart, whether with 2 days' gentility to boast of or with 200 years, should have impudence enough to say that he is as much of a gentleman as my late husband, who lived in the country, kept a pack of hounds, and took the title of count and all the deeds that he signed.
They know better how to live in Paris in those large hotels. You must remember with such pleasure that Hotel de Mouchy, Madame, the Hotel of Lyon, that Hotel of Hollande. What charming places to live in.
Oh, it is true that those places are very different from what we have here. You see there, people of quality who do not hesitate to show you all the respect and consideration which you look for. One is not under the obligation of rising from one's seat, and if one wants to see a review or the great ballet of Psyche, your wishes are at once attended to.
I should think, Madame, that during your stay in Paris, you made many a conquest among people of quality.
You can readily believe, Madame, that of all the famous court gallants, not one failed to come to my door and pay his respects to me. I keep in my casket some of the letters sent me, and can prove by them what offers I have refused. There's no need for me to tell you their names. You know what is meant by court gallants.
I wonder, Madame, how, after all those great names, which I easily can guess, you can descend to Monsieur Thibaudier, a councillor, and Monsieur Appin, a collector of taxes. The fall is great, I must say. For a vicomte, although nothing but a country vicomte, is still a vicomte and can take a journey to Paris if he has not been there already. But a councillor and a tax gatherer are but poor lovers for a great countess like you.
They are men whom one treats kindly in the country in order to make use of when the need arises. They serve to fill up the gaps of gallantry and to swell the ranks of one's lovers. It is a good thing not to leave a lover the sole master of one's heart, lest for want of rivals his love go to sleep through overconfidence.
I confess, Madame, that no one can help profiting wonderfully by all you say. Your conversation is a school to which I do not fail to come every day in order to learn something new.
Cricket? Cricket? Oh.
Here is Charlotte, Monsieur Thibaudier's man, who wants to see you, madam.
Oh, you little wretch. Now, this is another of your stupidities. A well-bred lackey would have spoken in a whisper to the gentlewoman in attendance. The latter would have come to her mistress and have whispered in her ear, "Here is the footman of Mr. So-and-so who wants to speak to you, madame." To which the mistress would have answered, "Show him in."
Come along in, Jeannot.
Another blunder. What do you want, page? What have you there?
It is Mr. Thibaudier, madame, who wishes you a good morning, and before he comes, sends you some pears out of his garden with this small note.
Here, my boy, here's something for your trouble.
Oh, no, thank you, madame.
Take it, I say.
My master told me not to take anything from you, madame.
Never mind. Take it all the same.
Excuse me, madame.
Give it to me, Jeannot.
Tell your master that I thank him.
Give it to me, Jeannot.
Yes, you catch me.
It was I who made you take it.
I should have taken it without your help.
What pleases me in this Monsieur Thibaudier is that he knows how to behave with people of my quality, and that he is very respectful.
I come to tell you, madame, that the theatricals will soon be ready, and that we can go into the hall in a quarter of an hour.
Mind, I will have no crowd after me. Tell the porter not to let anybody come in.
If so, madame, I give up our theatricals. I could take no interest in them unless the spectators are numerous. Believe me, if you want to enjoy it thoroughly, tell your people to let the whole town in.
Page, a seat. You have come just in time to accept a self-sacrifice I am willing to make unto you. Now look, I have here a note from Monsieur Thibaudier, who sends me some pears. I give you leave to read it aloud. I have not opened it yet.
This note is written in the most fashionable style, madame, and is worthy of all your attention. Madame, I could not have made you the present I send you if my garden did not bring me more fruit than my love.
You see clearly by this that nothing has taken place between us.
The pears are not quite ripe yet, but they will all the better match the hardness of your heart, the continued disdain of which promises me nothing sweet and soft and sweet. Allow me, madame, without risking an enumeration of your charms, which would be endless, to conclude with begging you to consider that I am as good a Christian as the pears which I send you, for I render good for evil, which is to say, to explain myself more plainly, that I present you with good Christian pears in return for the choke pears which your cruelty makes me swallow every day. Your unworthy slave, Thibaudier. Madam, this letter is worth keeping.
There may be a few words in it that are not of the Academy, but I observe in it a certain respect, which pleases me greatly.
You are right, madame. And even if the Viscount were to take it amiss, I should love a man who would write so to me.
Come here, Mr. Thibaudier. Do not be afraid of coming in. Your note was well received, and so were your pears. And there is a lady here who takes your part against your rival.
I am much obliged to her, madam, and if ever she has a lawsuit in our court, she may be sure that I shall not forget the honor she does in making herself the advocate of my flame near your beauty.
You have no need of an advocate, sir, and your cause has justice on its side.
It is nevertheless, madam, the right has need of help, and I have reason to apprehend the being supplanted by such a rival, and the beguiling of the lady by the rank of the Vicomte.
I had hopes before your note came, sir, but now I confess fears for my love.
Here are likewise a few little couplets which I have composed to your honor and glory, madame.
Ah, I had no idea that Monsieur Thibaudier was a poet. These few little couplets will be my ruin.
He means 2 strophes. Page, give a seat to Monsieur Thibaudier.
Yeah.
A folding chair, little animal. Monsieur Thibaudier, sit down there and read your strophes to us.
A person of quality is my fair dame, She has got beauty, fierce is my flame, yet I must blame her pride and cruelty.
I am lost after that.
Oh, the first line is excellent. A person of quality.
I think it is a little too long, but a liberty might be taken to express a noble thought.
Well, let us have the other.
I know not if you doubt that my love be sincere, yet this I know, that my heart every moment longs to leave its sorry apartment to visit yours with fond respect and fear. After all this, having my love in hand and my honor of superfine brand, you ought in turn, I say, content to be a countess gay, to cast that tigress skin away, which hides your charms, both night and day.
I am undone by Monsieur Thibaudier.
Oh, do not make fun of it, for the verses are good, although they are country verses.
I, madame, make fun of it. Though he is my rival, I think his verses admirable. I do not call them, like you, to strophes merely, but to epigrams, as good as any of Martial's.
What? Does Martial make verses? I thought he only made gloves.
Oh, it is not that Martial, madame, but an author who lived 30 or 40 years ago.
Monsieur Thibaudier has read the authors, as you see, but madame, we shall see if my comedy, with its interludes and dances, will counteract in your mind the progress which the two strophes have made.
My son, the Count, must be one of the spectators, for he came this morning from my country seat with his tutor, whom I see here. Mr. Bobinet, I say, Monsieur Bobinet, come forward.
I give the good evening to all this honorable company, but does Madame the Countess of Escarbagnas want for her humble servant, Bobinet?
What time, Monsieur Bobinet, did you leave Escarbagnas with this Count, my son?
At 8:45, my lady, according to your orders.
How are my two other sons, the Marquis and the Commander?
They are, heaven be thanked, in perfect health.
Where is the Count?
In your beautiful room with the recess in it, Madame.
What is he doing, Mr. Bobinet?
Madame, he is composing an essay upon one of the epistles of Cicero, which I have just given him as a subject.
Call him in, Monsieur Bobinet.
Be it according to your command, Madame.
That Monsieur Bobinet, madame, looks very wise, and I think he is a man of esprit.
Come, my lord, show what progress you make under the good precepts that are given you. Bow to the honorable company.
Come, Count, salute this lady. Oh, and bow low to the Vicomte. Salute the Councillor.
I am delighted, madame, that you should grant me the favor of embracing his lordship. One cannot love the trunk without loving the branches.
Goodness gracious, Monsieur Thibaudier, what a comparison to use.
Really, madame, his lordship the Count has perfect manners.
This is a young gentleman who is thriving well.
I couldn't believe that your ladyship had so big a child.
Oh, well, alas, when he was born, I was so young that I still played with dolls.
He is your brother and not your son.
Oh, be very careful of his education, Monsieur Bobinet.
I shall never, madame, neglect anything toward the cultivation of the young plant which your goodness has entrusted to my care, and I will try to inculcate in him the seeds of all the virtues.
Monsieur Bobinet, just make him recite some choice piece from what you teach him.
Will your lordship repeat your lesson of yesterday morning?
Omne viro sole quod convenit esto virile omne viri.
Monsieur Bobinet, what silly stuff is that you teach him?
It is Latin, madame, and the first rule of Jean Despotaire.
Truly, that Jean Despotaire is an impudent fellow, and I beg you to teach my son more honest Latin than this.
If you will allow him to say it all through, madame, the gloss will explain the meaning.
There is no need. It explains itself sufficiently.
Oh. The actors send me to tell you that they are ready.
Oh, let us take our seats. Monsieur Thibaudier, take this lady under your care.
It is important for you to observe that this comedy was made only to unite the different pieces of music and dancing which compose the entertainment, and that...
Oh, never mind. Let us see it. We have enough good sense to understand things.
Begin then at once and see that no troublesome intruder comes to disturb our pleasure.
Ah, by George! That is fine, and I rejoice to see what I see.
Oh, Monsieur Receiver, what do you mean by this behavior? Is it right to come and interrupt a comedy in that fashion?
By Jove, madame, I am delighted at this adventure, and it shows me what I ought to think of you and what I ought to believe of the assurances you give me of the gift of your heart, and likewise of all your oaths of fidelity.
But really, one should not come thus in the middle of a play and disturb an actor who is speaking.
Ha! Sounds! The real comedy here is the one you are playing, and I care little if I disturb you.
Really? You do not know what you're saying.
Yes, I know perfectly well, and...
Fie, sir. How wrong it is to swear in that fashion.
Ha! Death! If there is anything bad here, it is not my swearing, but your actions. And it would be much better for you to swear by heaven and tell them to do what you do with the Viscount.
I don't know, sir, of what you have to complain.
I have nothing to say to you, sir. Well, you do right to push your fortune, and that is quite natural. I see nothing strange in it, and I beg your pardon for interrupting your play, but neither can you find it strange that I complain of her proceedings, and we both have the right to do what we are doing.
I have nothing to say to that, and I do not know what cause of complaint you can have against her ladyship, the Countess of Escarbagnas.
When one suffers from jealousy, one does not give way to such outbursts, but one comes peaceably to complain to the person beloved.
I complain peaceably.
Yes, one does not come and shout on the stage what should be said in private.
I came purposely to complain on the stage. Steph! It is the place that suits me best, and I should be glad if this were a real theater so that I can expose you more publicly.
Is there need for such an uproar because the Vicomte gives a play in my honor? Just look at Monsieur Thibaudier, who loves me. He acts more respectfully than you do.
Mr. Thibaudier does as he pleases. I do not know how far Mr. Thibaudier has got with you, but Mr. Thibaudier is no example for me, and I don't like to pay the piper for other people to dance.
But, Monsieur Receiver, you don't consider what you are saying. Women of rank are not treated thus, and those who hear you might believe that something strange had taken place between us.
Confound it all, madam. Let us cast aside all this foolery.
What do you mean by foolery?
I mean that I do not think it strange that you should yield to the Viscount's merit, and you are not the first woman in the world who plays such a part and who has a receiver of taxes, of whom the love and purse are betrayed for the first newcomer who takes her fancy. But do not think it extraordinary that I do not care to be the dupe of infidelity so common to coquettes of the period, and that I come before good company to say that I break with you, and that I, the receiver of taxes, will no more be taxed on your account.
Oh, it is really wonderful how angry lovers have become the fashion. We see nothing else anywhere. Come, come, Monsieur Receiver, cast aside your anger and come and take a seat to see the play.
I sit down. 'Sdeath, not I. Look, for a fool at your feet, my lady Countess. I give you up to the Lord, the Viscount, and it is to him that I will send the letters that you have received that I have received from you. My scene is ended. My part is played. Good night to all.
We shall meet somewhere else, and I will show you that I am a man of the sword as well as of the pen.
Right, my good Thibaudier.
Such insolence confounds me.
The jealous, madame, are like those who lose their cause. They have leave to say anything. Let us listen to the play now.
Sir, here is a note which I have been asked to give to you immediately.
As you may have some measures to take, I send you notice at once that the quarrel between your family and that of Julia's has just been settled, and that the condition of this agreement is your marriage with Julia. Good night. Truly, madam, our part is also played.
Leonte, what happiness is this? Our love could scarcely hope for such a happy end.
What is it you mean?
It means, madame, that I marry Julia. And if you will believe me, in order to make the play complete at all points, you will marry Monsieur Thibaudier and give Andre to his footman, whom we will make his valet de chamber.
What? You deceive thus a person of my rank?
No offense to you, madame, but plays require such things.
Oh, yes. Monsieur Thibaudier, I will marry you to vex everybody.
Oh, you do me too much honor, madame.
Allow us, madame, in spite of our vexation, to see the end of the play.
Yeah, yes.
End of play.
Nice little bit of fluff there.
Oh, apologies, damn technology.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what happened. My Wi-Fi is on. All of a sudden, it told me I had no Wi-Fi. So thank God I had this. Oh, sorry.
I can't do that. I can do that one, but I can't
There
do
you
that
go,
one.
Ben.
Ow!
You can join us.
Yeah, I can do that, sort of.
Ooh. I'm in a swivel chair.
Ah, it's all right for you.
Yeah. And our final.
C'est bon.
Okay,
Yay!
Simon.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was, like a
Oh,
nice
through the
little fun
curtain
cup
call,
of tea.
too.
Tea in the afternoon.
That really did fly by.
It did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good
I was-
job, everyone. That was fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was fun. It makes me want to just do, like his other plays, just one act of them, one act at a
Yeah.
time.
Well, if you actually read Don Juan, you'll wish you could really just do one act.
Do one.
Oh, dear.
I know,
warn-
we have to do it. It's one of his biggies. We have to do
I
it.
know, and I warn all ladies that you plan to cast, it's one where you want to wring Don Juan's neck.
Okay,
The
okay.
only saving grace is that he ends up in the flames at the end.
Yes,
Oh, good.
okay.
I mean, even I had trouble hacking it. It was pretty bad. I mean, I know he's trying to convince people how to behave. It's a big thing, wasn't it? Roger de Coverley stories, Addison's stories in England were the same sort of thing. His little playlets where he'd have Sir Roger de Coverley come in from the country and stand up in the middle of a play that he saw and yell things at the cast. It was trying to show people this is not how you behave.
Mm,
They were very subtle behavior, sort of etiquette rules.
yeah. Well, this
That
was
was good.
fun.
Yes.
I'm
Well,
wondering what
did you have fun, Paula?
written for.
Paula, this is the
Did
perfect.
our Countess have fun?
And thank God for a hotspot.
Yes.
I don't know what happened.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yay.
I don't know. My own Wi-Fi. It looks like it's on, and I just dropped. It's like,
okay,
thank God I had this nearby. So I'm sorry, je know that I kind of like left you on the air partially in your scene.
Okay.
It's all right. I
okay.
just kept my vision off and said the lines until you got back
Thank
on
you.
again, Ben.
Thank you.
Paula was going,
A pale imitation.
yeah.
Sorry about that.
Paula was going, cricket. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Cricket.
Yeah.
Cricket.
He plays cricket. Oh,
And I'm going,
at Lord's.
calling
Anyway.
cricket.
Yeah.
It was fun. Thank you
Well,
very much.
fun, yes.
Don Juan is
This-
mostly male roles, except for
This is
part done by peasant women.
yeah.
And,
And when
Other-
do you have plans for Don Juan?
she's got the script. Simone's got the script. So
You know when you're going to do it?
Not a date yet. Yeah, but
Okay.
it's coming up because it's one of the big ones. We have to do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You need a whole afternoon and an evening to put together, right?
it's 5 acts.
Yeah. And Angus wonderfully translated it for us.
Well,
You do it in
adapted
two
it.
Would you do
Is
it?
that what it,
Would you,
what, Marie?
would you do it in 2 sessions or in 1 session?
Oh, no, it needs to be done in
we
one.
do-
It's so offensive
All
that
of-
if you break it halfway through, people are going to go away and not come back.
yeah.
We don't take a dinner break in the middle of this
think so.
play.
This
Okay.
is not flamboyant, great Don Juan. This is a sleazy asshole
No,
who
no.
falls in love with women one after the other, promises to marry them, and then gets bored with them after a day and a half and moves on to the next one.
That's lovely.
Sounds like one of your kings.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Is he the only one that's done Don Juan? Who else has done Don Juan?
Oh, somebody must.
Schiller.
Oh,
There's the dream sequence in Man and Superman
that's right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
in
Schiller.
Shaw.
Yeah.
The German playwright Schiller. He wrote it.
Yeah.
Schiller did
that's
it,
right.
Don Juan?
Yeah.
Schiller,
That's
I
right.
didn't know that.
which is here. Hold on. I'll pull up. I don't know the English.
Yeah.
And the Spaniard, Calderón de la Barca, also has his version of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many.
Each one has their own version of it.
Yeah.
Each
But
country.
Moliere's using it really as a morality warning,
Ah,
both to women not to get sucked in by these clowns, and men that really, guys, this is not on. You know? And
Mhm.
ghosts and statues. It is actually, Simone, it's the Stone Feast. I don't know
Right.
where that version that you had got Pierre's feast.
Right.
I think they didn't translate the French word for stone. They just messed about with it. But it's because it climaxes when Don Juan is having dinner with an animated statue of the commander that he killed.
Right. That'll be fun. That maybe we can then use that type of background that Marie has. That could be cool with the statue.
So next time I'm gonna have it. I promise. I have a computer. I just have to install it. Next time. This was the
No, I can never get the blurry thing to work.
Oh God, I feel so embarrassed. But next time.
No. Till today, I have no idea how the blurry thing works.
Well, zooming is furious because it makes me crazy, because every week, about an hour before I'm due to sign on, I suddenly realize Zoom wants another incremental update, 5.1.37 as against 3.6, and it doesn't like it if you don't do it, But if you do that, you've then got to reinstall the virtual background system. Most upsetting.
Interesting.
I mixed it up. It's not Schiller didn't wrote Don Juan. He wrote Don Carlos. Sorry. The other ones they're all Spanish.
Yeah.
So they're Molina and Jose Zorilla. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what the opera was based on? Don Giovanni? Was that who he wrote it? Who he based his opera on? Who wrote the libretto?
Don Giovanni. That's Don Juan, right? Right.
Yeah. Verdi.
That's the opera.
Yeah.
Right.
Verdi, yeah.
Joe Green. Yeah, Joe Green did that one, didn't he?
Yes, the great opera. Well, I'm at some point I'd like to bring even more dance in. And I'm sorry, it would have been fun to do a little with the music coming on, in this last play, because they did have a big dance scene in it. He brought, interesting enough, he brought pieces from Psyche, which we did a while ago, and he inserted that in this.
Well, there was a ballet that he was staged for it, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's
45 minutes. You can't keep even the peasants happy with 45 minutes. You got to boost it up a bit.
Also, it was at court, so of course they had to bring the ballet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Your Madame interchange was so great. That was one of my favorite parts. The Madame.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking later it might have been fun for us to practice that ahead of time, so we could have really done that off well. But anyway,
it worked.
It was nice.
Did it work? Okay, good.
Yeah. At least you didn't have to say god awful poetry.
You said the god awful poetry so well.
Oh, thank you. Not a lot to work with there.
Yeah. Well, I thought that would be fun for you, Angus. That's why I gave
yes, that's very kind of you, Simone.
That was very good. Thank you.
Yeah,
that was your treat for doing Don Juan.
No, okay. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Little fun in the rain.
Yeah. See, Simone's all right. She's sitting in the south of France, and it's hot and it's lovely, and Provence. I mean, screw it. I mean, I'm stuck in cold, wet, rainy England. The rest of you guys in the States are frying your asses off.
Oh boy, are we ever?
I know. You open the window, and it's like, oh, another day of sun. I'm looking at it now.
Are you the only ones not affected by climate change? Is England
Looks like it. They keep threatening it, but I mean, we've never gone above, I think 19 or 20 is as hot as we've got, and even then there's been wind and rain.
72 degrees in London. That's so funny. Well, we're gonna get a lot of immigrants.
I know. That's right. They're all going to be running away from 110 degrees.
That's so funny that London has bad weather. The whole world is melting and London is sitting there.
Yeah, you still have to take 3 changes of clothing with you, one for rain, one for cold, and one for this strange thing, that appears every so often.
Oh, it's so funny.
The English are so traditional.
That's right.
Do people in London take vitamin D? Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah. We need to. There's no sunlight.
Right. So I know, but is that a common thing to take your vitamin D?
Oh, yes. At
Yeah,
my
okay.
age, I have to take it every day. Oh, yes. And I grew up in Scotland, which was even worse because you had to take it from about the age of 1 in Scotland because, there's no sun in Scotland most of the time.
Okay. All righty. Well, great. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you. I was looking for, I thought we had a fun play and I think we have a great
It's
cast
good.
here.
It was
and
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Are
Thank
there
you,
any
everyone.
Are there any more one acts? Moliere one act?
I think we've done all the one acts.
Oh,
We
okay.
have
that
done
are
no,
available.
have we
That are
done
available.
Did we do the Flying Doctor?
Right. Yeah, they did the Flying Dutchman. We did. Anyway, that are available to us that are already in translation. But if I find another one, I'll send it over to you.
Let me know because
Okay.
I'll look through the book because
Yes,
there's
if you
that
find it.
there are
Yeah.
those on Gutenberg. There are those collections of one acts.
Yeah. I think
which is plays.
the last one.
And there are a lot of them that we haven't done. I think.
Well,
I'm not
now
sure they're that good.
The one on Gutenberg, they're almost all taken, but I think all the one acts we've done. Anyway,
Yeah.
now we have to go beyond the ones that are not into public domain.
That's right.
That's the next thing to start doing. But yeah, I think this is fun.
Gutenberg's
But
got
all
volumes.
Moliere is public domain, no?
Not
all-
translated. Not translated. So what I have to do is I have to pull up there's a set of the complete works of Molière in I think 3 or 4 volumes on Gutenberg, but they're in French. So what I do is I pull them in and run Google Translate on them and then try and make sense of them.
And I have to keep after Angus. Angus, how's it going?
God, you're a nag, Simone.
Is it done yet? Is it?
Well, the one act won't be so bad. It's the 5
act
turgid, half-page monologues with all this convoluted logic. Oh, dear God.
And also, I'm going to do a Commedia dell'arte because he was so influenced by that. So that's coming. But we're going to be we're really going to have fun with those.
Yeah.
But
there's also
there's so much physical business in Commedia.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
I know. We'll see what we can do. Why not?
Okay.
Why not?
I've also got a Marivaux, Triumph of Love, which I'm trying to work through and tidy up as well. Because Marivaux was about 80 years later. Pierre de Marivaux, who wrote some good stuff. I like his stuff.
Cool.
Right, you are.
All right. Yeah, we're going to have to branch out after a while because we've clicked a lot of things off. It's so funny being here in France because, I let them know what the latest Molière that we're doing and they've never heard of them.
No.
And like we're doing the Countess of Escarbagnas and they're like, what? Like, yeah.
And how is
thank you,
Marseille?
everyone.
Is Marseille very hot at the moment?
It's not now. It's actually very pleasant. As I was sharing with Angus the other day, and I was eating this most amazing pastry.
She sends me pictures of French pastry and expects me to sit here and be delighted to receive pictures of large, gorgeous-looking French pastries as the rain's lashing the window. Come on.
Oh, that's just.
And he said, under the hot sun, it's like, oh no, it's been pleasant here. It's been really.
You live in France? Are you living there? Or are you visiting?
No, I'm just kind of. I'm back and forth. But yesterday I had this amazing pastry with chocolate, lots of chocolate. They weren't stingy, and pistachios all through it. That's the one I sent Angus. It was. These
the woman has a mean streak.
Yeah, doesn't she?
Very mean streak.
Tell me about it.
These are to be eaten in silence, in total reverence. You just like this. This is how
that's right.
eating them.
Yeah.
Silent reverence to the pastry.
Absolutely. It's like, all right, everyone.
Don't disturb me. I'm eating.
See, because I have also, the funny thing is I have all these memories of all the pastries when I was a kid, coming to France, and it still exists in me. more pastries than the French because it's just so special to me. Anyway, I'm like, okay, everybody,
Careful,
silence.
Missy. We may
Yep.
show up on your doorstep.
Yeah. Make sure you've got the pastries in,
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
you
And
know?
believe me, I know where all the good ones are.
Oh, heck, that's what I like to hear.
I can tell you, any city, I rate the cities in France by their pastry shops.
Ooh.
So if you need to know, I'm your girl.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good to
All
see
right.
you all.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
This was
See you
fun.
at home.
Bisous.
Have a good one.
Thanks so much. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Oh, Angus, I'll
Yeah,
see you soon.
yeah,
I'll see you soon.
yeah.
Okay, bye.